So this is what's really happening in the streets. This is what they're saying is happening in the streets, all right? They're saying that this woman basically had children. They were married for at least 9 to 10 years, somewhere around a decade. And that she basically had 3 children that he thought was his and that he found out that they weren't his.
I need y'all to like the video, comment if you want, but turn your post notifications on so you know the next time I drop. Up next, allegedly she had 3 kids and none of them were his. So he came up to her job and crashed out.
Following breaking news out of Sterling Heights, where police say a husband shot his wife in her work parking lot. That shooting happened at the Pomeroy Living Center on 15 Mile near DeQuinder. Gino Vici has an update on the victim's condition and the investigation.
Yeah, this is still a very active scene behind me. Take a look at this. Look at the bullet casing markings on the ground here. Sterling Heights police saying around 8 o'clock this morning they received a 911 call that a woman had been shot in the parking lot here at the Pomeroy Living Center off of 15 Mile near DeQuinder. We're told an employee was shot by her husband in the parking lot. We're told they both lived in the city of Warren and that the husband came up to his wife's employer and shot her several times. Police thankfully were able to respond to the scene within seconds. The wife was rushed to a nearby hospital where she is still alive. Police encountered the husband who was armed with a revolver and were able to take him into custody. Here is Captain Mario Bastianelli talking about the moment officers encountered the gunman.
Like I said, our officers were here, very quickly, so which makes all the difference in the world of somebody with a gun and they're actively shooting at people. So this happened to be a targeted incident because it was a domestic situation, but you never know how these things are going to transpire, right? How they're going to work out. Officers show up, you have a guy with a gun, does he go peacefully or does this end up turning into a shootout with our officers? It's a very stressful situation on everybody, including our officers arriving. All in all, a good ending to a bad situation.
Again, we're told the female victim is expected to survive despite being shot several times in the body. And again, her husband has been taken into custody. No word yet on when he could be charged. In Sterling Heights, Gino Vici, CBS News, Detroit.
So this is what's really happening in the streets. This is what they're saying is happening in the streets, all right? They're saying that this woman basically had children. They were married for at least 9 to 10 years, somewhere around a decade. And that she basically had 3 children that he thought was his and that he found out that they weren't his.
I know you fucking lying. The news left that part out. I know you fucking lying.
And so as a result, he couldn't take the pressure. He crashed out. And then he wound up going up to her job. And then this was what happened. He wound up shooting her. Obviously, it seems like he tried to take her out. He wasn't able to successfully take her out, which I'm not saying that he should have successfully take her out, because I'm always going to stand on the whole idea that nobody should have to lose their life over a domestic violence situation.
Yeah, whatever Anton's saying. Yeah.
However, I understand.
My nigga. My nigga.
I can't say that I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying that it should have happened. But I truly understand. And the question that I have to ask you guys is, when will women be accountable for the decisions that they make? Now, he's going to be held accountable, all right? This guy is going to be held accountable for his decision to decide to crash out. That's just the way that it is. He's going to be held accountable, and he's probably going to go to jail. And there's nothing that we can do to save him from it. And so that's just the way that it's going to be. But the question that I then have to ask is, at what point will women then say, you're wrong, you shouldn't be having children that aren't yours or that isn't his from your husband?
The sad reality of women's existence, and I say the sad reality because they are allowed to escape the consequences of reality, usually. This man, he can't escape the consequences of reality because he's gonna go to jail. Women, however, they're able to kind of slip through. And so there's no incentive to really change. What's gonna happen is that they're gonna hide behind this man's actions and focus on that. as the focal point. The same way the news only reported what the man did, but never reported why he did it. The streets had to talk about that.
You shouldn't be having children, let alone in a situation where you're cheating on your husband. He finds out, because listen, this is not even a secret that you can hold down for the rest of your life. You can try, but the level of technology that we have, and as the kids grow up and they don't look nothing like you, and I don't know if the children were, from all different guys or if it was all just the same guy that she wound up having children with or what, but when you start playing with that type of disrespect, what did you expect was going to happen, right? Because you can control what you do, or you can control, how it is that you treat people, but you can't control what the outcome is. But here's the caveat to this whole situation. The caveat to this situation is you would be surprised how many guys think that their father is theirs and it ain't their father. You would be surprised at the amount of people that can't truly trace their lineage because that's not their real father. You would be surprised how many of y'all are not your father's child and the lie died with your parents, or it died with your mother, or it died with your grandmother. There are so many diabolical grandmothers and mothers out here. There are so many women that are hoping and praying that that guy never takes a DNA test. Do you know that people are advocating against DNA at birth?
Believe it or not, this is gonna be news to a lot of y'all, because a lot of men live under the gynocentric lens that brainwashes you into thinking that women are just sugar and spice and everything nice. And in reality, they cold-blooded.
Because they don't want to be held accountable. Now think about it. This guy is taking care of these 3 kids. He believes in his heart that they are his.
Putting all his life force and energy into 3 souls that he believes is his seed.
I see women a lot of times that jump on the internet and say, why would a man leave if he found out that the kids is not his? You've already bonded with them. You already love them.
Fuck them kids. Fuck the kids? Yeah.
And that makes it, in my opinion, more diabolical, because it's like, how can you justify bonding with a child that's not yours? And this is another reason why I say that it's difficult for a man to play another man's saved game.
No, these hoes trying to play on you and really think that you stupid enough to play the rigged game that they didn't rig. It's not happening.
And be a step baby daddy, because how can you justify being able to bond with and take care of another man's child? Now, I get it. A lot of y'all are stepchildren. And so some of y'all had y'all stepfather or your stepmother in your life. And so you gonna have a biased perspective or opinion. But I guarantee you that the overwhelming majority of you would not advocate that your children, your son, do the same thing and take care of another man's child. So if we would justify and say, hey, there's no reason why you would ever want to go and take care of another man's child, play another man's safe game, be a step crash dummy. At some point, that child, because they know that you're not the real father, even though you may be pouring into them, at some point, that child is probably going to say, you not my daddy, and it's going to pierce you. It's going to break your heart.
As it fucking should. That's what your ass get for being dumb.
It's going to break your heart. And you going to harken back to this live stream or the previous conversations that I had when I told you, don't be a step crash dummy. And all of this years and all of this dedication and time, and you can try to justify it if you want. You can sit here and play the game and be like, oh no, it makes sense. It's awesome. I really do love him, and it's almost like it's my child. No, that's another man's seed, another man's child. You'll never, ever, ever be able to come back from it. And I'm not saying that the person is not a good person. I'm just saying that it's not ideal for you. And so you shouldn't find yourself in a situation where you're trying to justify taking care of another man's child.
You know what comes to my mind when, pause. You know what I think about when I'm listening to this? I'm thinking like, damn, pussy really is that powerful. It'll have a nigga spend all his resources and life force on another man's seed.
You see how hard this is? It wasn't just the lying. It's the fact that he probably looked in them kids' eyes and he was looking for himself in it. And he probably been, thinking about it for a while. And he probably just got the courage up at some point, because some of y'all just don't want to know. It's almost like a disease. You don't want to know. He got the courage up to go and find out, or he got something else came up and it was clear and he put all two and two together and he just probably crashed out. He probably had a PTSD moment. He probably went into shock and he went and grabbed his revolver. And again, I'm not saying that it's justified. I would never want to take life. But at some point, I just got to say that I understand it. I don't promote it. I'm not saying that you should do it. But this is why I also say that we need to be proactive in making sure that we're not putting ourselves in a situation in the first place, because I don't want you to crash out.
This has got to be an insanity defense. This has got to be textbook temporary insanity.
I don't want you to get with a woman that don't care nothing about you. Think about it. You love this woman. You married her. You probably gave her your last name. And they said it. They said it's a domestic dispute situation. And so the best possible outcome, the police is only there in order to stop the situation. The police is not there in order to prevent people. Like, they can't proactively precog and anticipate that you was, because if they was able to anticipate the crime should have been the fact that you got pregnant by other men and you did it 3 times. That means you had no regard for him whatsoever. And you only looked at him as a sucker. And you'll be surprised. Your grandmother did it. Your great-grandmother did it. Your mama probably did it. And there's some women out here that's doing it every single day. They busting it down for a real one, and they letting somebody else take the pain from it.
That's why I always say, man, people only do to you what you allow. For some reason, she probably just didn't even realize the value of what she probably had. And a lot of times women go out looking for something that they think that they're missing in their marriage. And because of how they feel, they do things like this where they destroy an entire family. He was wrong, don't get me wrong. But the first aggression came on her part when she did what she did. I don't condone this behavior at all, but I understand.
Everybody shut the fuck up. Hey, shut the fuck up. Let me tell you something right now.
If you made it this far, check out the video we just did where Ask a Brother podcast was on Elkin Ali and Fatty's channel arguing about how women fail to take accountability. Check it out.